from then to now, so much has changed in this community. So my mission today is to give you actionable steps to help you with both identifying what your career paths could be and helping to communicate that well so that you win in any opportunity. Does that sound good? Okay, so I am not an introvert. I can be loud at times, so I'm gonna try to just be a little bit more even because y'all are quiet as a mofo. But if you're a little bit more lively, you are welcome to be yourselves here. This is a safe space, okay? Okay? Yes? All right, y'all. So what is a creative? I want to start by defining it. Let me just bring this down. So a creative is someone who takes an idea and makes sense to someone else. Does that make sense to you as a creative? So that the beautiful thing about having a creative mind, it's not just for someone who makes things look good. You take an idea, you turn it into something people understand, you connect with and respond to. So I'm not a fan of reading off of all my slides. So I want us to define that in your world. So based off of this definition, can you think of one or two things you do to help make sense to others? Any takers? Okay, I'll start. And maybe that'll help. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say humor, relatability.
Okay. So in your major, one more time?
Art.
Okay.
Education.
Art education. So in your mind, humor and relatability, can you see using those tools, those skill sets to your major that could translate into a successful career?
Yeah.
Okay, good. That's what you want. And here's why. Y'all are at a great point in time and existence. We've got technology, we have AI, we've got multiple streams of revenue. There's so much more that you have access to now, even before graduating. But you want to be clear to always keep control of your narrative and be able to define it. And it really starts with, if you're saying you're creative, making sure you understand what that definition is and how that serves the world. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, good. And please, y'all, let me know if you have questions. You can just raise your hand and shout it out, okay? So where did this start? Many moons ago, over 20 years ago, I graduated with a bachelor's. I didn't go any further, but I graduated from St. John's, Big East Champions 2026, and I got a communications degree. This is my sister, it's her birthday today, and this is my dad. Now, she's got like 4 degrees and is Dr. Sis, and my dad is a Navy admiral. So I come from a family of super smart people. And here I am, creative, getting this degree, having no idea what to do at all. It was really challenging right after I graduated because I thought I would know more. But I ended up getting a BS in communication arts, and for the first 3 years it was BS to me because I had no idea what to do. So I've learned over the years that not knowing is actually the right place to start, and here's why. If you come into a situation or an opportunity and your mind is already filled with what you think, how to respond, what you think you need to say, then you're really not open and you don't have space to be able to receive and learn. And so at this point where you all are, it's great to learn, to keep learning, but to understand that it's okay to not have all the answers and to not know exactly where to start, even with a defined degree, okay? So my first job out of college, I worked at a call center, completely opposite of communications. But it was a great experience because I learned about the power of customer service. From there, I worked in a bunch of different places. My goal was to get into HR, and after several failures and lots of tries, I ended up in HR on Wall Street. So again, like completely opposite of my degree. But I ended up working for Goldman Sachs. Has anyone heard of Goldman Sachs before? Yes? Okay. So it was fun. I lived the life. I worked on Wall Street most of my corporate career. I went between investment banks and a large staffing agency. It was the life. But along the way, what I realized is the biggest thing I learned is that there was only a small group of people who really knew how to communicate their worth and value well. Everyone else was garbage at it. Why do I say garbage? Because in HR, the only thing I ever did was staffing and recruiting. So I've had over 20 years experience hiring and firing and having to say no to people. After a while, you gather data and you realize, well, what's the common denominator? Most people are smart, they're learned, they've got all these degrees, but they don't know how to communicate. And so when it comes to that, there's often opportunities missed. And that's what we're going to dive into today so you don't miss opportunities. Do you see this stat here that most people change careers 5 to 7? Is that surprising to you all? No, exactly. Because here's why. After 2020, a lot of people in the workforce started to realize that they don't have to stay somewhere 7, 10 years in order to prove their worth to an employer that could let them go at any time. Let's be honest. Employment is great. It's great to learn and make mistakes on other people's dimes, but it's no longer the end-all, be-all. So when I say an average of changing careers, that's not just changing jobs, right? A job is a job. A career is a defined path as to how you work and grow. So regardless of what your major is, you have room and space to switch things up and change your mind, hands down, okay? Path isn't linear. Gone are the days where people work at just one place or just have one source of income. Does anybody here have more than one source of income right now? Exactly. Thank you for raising those hands. So this data is proving true even in this room. So that last point, the path isn't linear. I want to talk to you a little bit about what I'm involved in. And it's going to tie into something that we're going to talk about. I'm going to ask for your participation in, okay? So I went from communications to Wall Street. In between, I recorded and songwrote and released 2 albums with my business partner and my mentor. Along with that, we won awards. Along with that, I ended up working at an agency, now supporting Fortune 500 companies and making that company millions of dollars. Did not see millions in my pockets at all. So I left Wall Street and took a shot at entrepreneurship. Lots of tough times in entrepreneurship. A lot of things I didn't know. There was no training back then. But powered through, moved here, and being in this community has opened up a lot of doors tied to being a creative. So we've got a PBS documentary. I encourage y'all to watch it. It's a PBS documentary about America 250 honoring African American history in Lehigh Valley. We've got the first ever podcast featuring and honoring African American leaders in this community. And we've got 2 businesses based here in the Lehigh Valley. Now, the thing I love about the Valley is the opportunities are endless, but these are just a couple more things. But opportunities are endless, but you gotta know how to be confident enough to ask for them, because y'all, all these things you see, they didn't just come, I had to ask for them. And even when they came, I had to learn how to level up in my ask and ask for more. And so this is the beauty of being a creative, because we get a chance to see, oftentimes, what most folks don't see if they're not a creative and don't have that creative mindset. So I want to just ask you all, and please feel free to be honest, okay? What's the fear? Let's name it out loud. What are you most afraid of or maybe confused about when you think about graduating? And I'm gonna ask y'all post-graduation after we get to pre-graduation, okay? Anybody want to start? You can name 1 or 2 things or just one thing, but what's the thing that hits your mind right away?
Not being able to find a job in my field.
Not being able to find a job in your field, okay?
The time that it's going to take to find the job.
How long will it take to find a job? That's a good one.
Not liking the job once you get it.
Yes. Hello, not liking a job once you go through all that, you finally get it, and then it's garbage. Yep. Ageism, yes, it's a good one. Anybody else? Okay, my post-grads.
Like, what was I most afraid of?
Yes.
I think putting myself out there.
I was kind of similar to it. I guess getting out into the real world.
Taking that leap.
Yeah. Yeah, that can be so scary. That can be so scary. So we've got some really good answers. So hold on to those answers. And I just want to give you a little bit of data. What if my degree doesn't get me a job in my field? I don't have the experience. Everyone wants experience. I'm surprised no one said that, but in the recruiting world, we often get people saying entry-level job but 5 years of experience. This doesn't match up. Has anyone heard that before? Okay. AI, no one mentioned AI, so I'm glad there's no fear or concern about AI potentially taking a job. And how do I turn what I love into something that pays? So do you get a garbage job and keep your love to the side, or is it possible to find everything in one entity? So realistically, you don't have to wait until you graduate to start building your career, and this is the exercise we're gonna go through, okay? Remember how I talked about documentation? Yeah. So the most underused career tool is documentation. And so let's talk a little bit about that, and I'm gonna use myself as an example, and I may pick someone from the audience to self-audit themselves, okay? So documentation is really just communicating your worth and value quantitatively. Here's why. It takes 3 to 5 seconds for a recruiter to look at your resume. Your entire life, everything you've done, 3 to 5 seconds. So in those 3 to 5 seconds, you've got to make it count. Now I'm using a resume as an example. This is for a portfolio, a website, anything. 3 to 5 seconds. I want y'all to remember that, 3 to 5 seconds. So how do you capture attention within a matter of seconds to allow people to want to read more? So what you can do is start to look at everything you've done, your internships, your projects, freelance gigs. I don't care if you have a family-owned business and you're a part of that, that's data you can use to turn into telling your story that will cause a decision maker to look at you versus all the other folks applying and give you the chance to interview. Every piece of work should have a result attached to it, and when you build your portfolio like a body of evidence versus just it being scattered, it makes sense to the end user. So I'm going to give you an example. I've been through a lot of different changes over the past few years. Being an entrepreneur, it's hard for me to sit still because my mind is constantly moving, but I'm also looking to see how I can evolve and how I'm communicating. So just last year, I completely redid my website. And one of the things that I had to look at is, well, how am I quantifying 20 years of experience? And who cares about 20 years of experience? So what I learned is this. I've conducted over 40,000 interviews over the course of my career. 40,000 human beings have talked with girl. Okay? Over 40,000. Over 20 years of experience, 2 businesses, a lot of experience helping to career coach folks who have gone from one point to the other, and on and on and on. It took me a while to understand that this was a framework that I could develop to help folks just like you be able to identify what you've accomplished and put it in a narrative that's going to sell. I'm using sell because it's very broad. That could be a job, an interview, business partnership. You want to kick it to somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no discrimination here. But it's all about how do you do that? So that's what I really put together for you all specifically. Angela confirmed she's gonna send it to you because Wi-Fi isn't that great here. But let's use an example. And this is where I may want to call on somebody. So there are a lot of graphic design majors, interestingly enough, today, which I love it. So why don't I'm gonna ask you all, remind me, who's a graphic designer or interactive graphic? Show your hands. Yeah, it's over 50%. Do you all know each other? Raise your hands one more time. Just look around. Look around. Okay. I always say the next Google, the next Facebook folks don't have to be in a garage. They don't have to be. So I encourage y'all to just at least say hi to one another if you don't know each other, because you're already in the same industry. You never know what may result. So, okay, you're a senior, right? So if you were to think about all of the projects, everything that you've done, can you think about one win? One part of a project where it was really successful and what you contributed. How would you describe that?
I'm not sure how I would describe it, but something that I was doing when I was working on my documentation for it was a virtual reality game that I had helped develop with the team. We do a lot of user testing, so something that we documented was like metrics.
Yep.
Sometimes it's hard to get metrics, I think, but like when you user test, like we reached 100% flow state in all our users. So I think that's something, it's like a deliverable.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
maybe like metrics or something like that.
Yeah. That's exactly it. 100% flow rate.
Flow state.
Flow state. I knew I was gonna mess it up now. 100% flow state. That was part of the journey, but not the entire journey. Is that correct?
Yep.
It's still worth something.
Mm-hmm.
And that's so is this making more sense? Does anyone else want to give it a shot? Because I'm feeling like the juices are starting to flow a little bit. Okay, Go ahead.
I had to create my first reels for graphics, girl marketing class.
Okay.
I've never been on social media before, so this was my first time.
Yeah.
And I felt kind of proud. This is my first post at 400 views.
Excellent. Good. And that's great. 450 views is good, right? What you want to do then is take the next 30, 60, 90 days, keep posting. Look at that data. Did it increase over time? Were there certain reels that got more views than others? And if so, what did you do differently? And that'll help you to tell a story that one, that you can quantify and say to any potential employer, over the past 90 days, I've posted one reel a week. So however many reels that is over 90 days, and over 40% of them reached 500 plus views, and my views or likes have steadily increased by 2 to 3%. Done. Okay? I know I'm flowing with it because I had to figure this out, right? But everyone here has something that is worthy, that is valuable of you being hired or selected for an opportunity. And now what I want to share with you is how you tell that story so it's less work for y'all. Is this making sense so far? All right, I'm going to pause here. What questions or thoughts do you have right now? The floor is open. In 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay, we're going to move on. All right, so we already talked about the graphic design part, but just giving some examples. So turning what you did into what you delivered. This is really, I want to plant a seed for the rest of your life. You have the power to always do that. When I started doing this, I didn't know what the heck or how to start. So I had to come up with a method. But I will say, once I started doing it and telling the story, it's been extremely successful, and the opportunities I shared wouldn't have existed if I didn't know how to tell the story when the opportunity came. One thing I've learned, y'all, opportunities are always gonna come. If you miss it, I promise it's gonna come back in another form. But it's important to be as prepared for them as possible, so when they do come, not that you say yes to everything, because not every opportunity is a good one, but that you're clearly able to say, I represented myself well, I was able to understand my value, my contribution. That's the best really we can do. You don't have to be just one thing, and you never did, and you also don't have to do just one thing. So I had asked before, how many of us have side hustles? Can I just get another show of hands? Love it, love it. So the days are gone where it's just the one job. We live in a very entrepreneurial country. We always have, but I think it's over the past 6 years, things have grown tremendously in terms of access and ability to have our own. So a couple things here that you already know about, but it's good to revisit. Who here wants to be an entrepreneur? Okay. Anyone else thought of it, but maybe it's a little scary? Yeah. Okay, good. So entrepreneurial thinking does not mean you have to go out and start your own business, but it's good if you have the desire to. Entrepreneurial thinking just means that you allow your creative skill sets to flow and not be confined. So when you think about a project, working for an organization, having to have a say and a part of something you're a part of, you want to keep that creative skill set in your brain going, because you very well may have the solution that no one else is going to think about because they're only thinking in this one direction. That's what I love about being a creative. I'm all over the place, but I realize that's a superpower. It's not a liability. I have the example here. I always like to show the example of all the things I do. I remember somebody said to me years ago, Lindsay, you're doing too much and your messaging isn't clear. I think you just need to stick to doing the one thing. Interestingly enough, this person was a serial entrepreneur and was doing more than one thing. But at the time I listened, I said, okay, I'm not going to pursue these other things that are going in my brain. And so I put a lot of the things you see now on pause. What did I learn? That wasn't the best advice. When we're creatives, we're always going to have more than one thing cooking. That's it. That's just who we are. And I had to take ownership of that and realize I could figure it out and figure out how to tell the story, even if I'm doing completely different things. Fast forward to now, no one will ever be able to tell me that I'm doing too much or that I should just focus on one thing. Ever, ever, ever. We want to be excellent in what we do, but doing more than one thing is, again, to me, a superpower. So, does anyone watch Shark Tank? Yeah. Who's your favorite shark?
Probably cute.
Okay. How about you?
O'Leary.
Okay. Mr. Wonderful. Who else watches Shark Tank? Favorite shark?
Barbara.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay, so I'm going to ask why. Why is Barbara your favorite shark?
She's very careful about the deals she takes on, and it's just really inspiring the way that she is so thoughtful about everything that she does, and everything that she puts her name on and takes a chance on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. Mr. Wonderful, why is he your favorite?
Entertaining, bold.
Yeah? Yeah, no F's can be found with him at all. You're absolutely right. How about you? Cuba.
I like that he, I feel like he has one line that I can't think of right now, but I like that he feels like he really thinks about who he's partnering with
Mm-hmm.
and like cares about them.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Could be fake for all I know, but.
But he's
I'm sold.
consistent, and you're
Yeah.
sold,
Yeah.
exactly. Well, and what is communications other than being consistent, right? Whether it's real or not, it's remembering the essence of the person or the brand, right? That's what draws us to them. Well, great. So I don't know if I have a favorite shark, but I love it when they fight over things they want to invest in. I enjoy that part. So David John, I follow him on LinkedIn. He's just got a lot of good wisdom to share and is a creative, literally, right? So one of the things he recently posted is, what if your 9 to 5 is actually your first investor? Now, if you have an entrepreneurial desire, or if you're thinking, oh man, I wish I could not have to work for anyone or have a flexible schedule, entrepreneurship is always going to offer that in theory. But realistically, starting a business or having even a side hustle you want to grow requires funds. Looking at a 9 to 5 as your first investor can speak to, oh my gosh, what if I get a job and I don't like it? Well, if you reframe and it's a good paying job, and it can help you either to save or invest in what you want to build creatively, then you can kind of disconnect yourself from needing to be eternally happy in that one space and get through, make your money, invest, and move on. This was not always a mindset that was introduced in the corporate space, I will tell you that. But David John is a great example. He built Google to $6 billion while waiting tables at Red Lobster. $6 billion. And if you know any of the stories of the sharks, it's very similar. They started with nothing and a dream and just decided not to let anyone get in their way and stop them. But along the way, they learned, if I have a job, it's not the end all be all, but I'm going to make the most of it and take that and invest in what I want to do. Does this make sense? What are you saying? Yeah, I thought that was a really, really good way to describe it. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about numbers for the side hustle economy. I just want y'all to get this in your brain. So 72% have or are considering a side hustle. We got that. 1.27 trillion contributed by freelancers. 70% believe in multiple income sources. 57% jump in freelancers earning 100K. So I just want to talk here. Has anyone ever freelanced before? Yeah, okay. So freelancers tend to make more money on paper. Does anyone know the difference between an employee and a freelancer? I don't want to bore you. All right, I'm gonna break it down for y'all. Y'all ready for this? You go, you apply for a job, you get an offer letter. Yay, congratulations. They got your benefits and your 401k and your personal development and whatever else they offer. It's an all-in-one package, right? Let's say it's $50,000. Signed, sealed, delivered, you're in. As a freelancer, they may say, okay, we've got this great project, it's gonna be 9 months, and we're gonna pay you $125,000. Taxes are your responsibility, you don't get no benefits. We'll give you a business email, but that's it. Everything else is your responsibility, but you still gotta show up and deliver. Well, what's the biggest difference? When an employer hires you, they incur at least $7,000 to $10,000 worth of expenses just to onboard you. They're paying for your insurances, they're paying for, well, they should be paying for your insurances, they're paying for 401k, they're matching, and they're bringing you into their system. So they get a cut of that. So instead of paying you 100k, you get half, or sometimes even less than that. Why am I saying that? Freelancing, if you see the 57% jump, freelancers are growing because they're realizing there's workplace flexibility, they can work from anywhere, they can have more than one role, and if they do it well enough, they can earn 6 figures and be able to get their own health insurance and take care of themselves. So freelancing could very well be something y'all can jump into post-graduation. If you do it right, you actually won't miss a beat. Any questions on that? So, I do want to talk about AI, although it wasn't expressed as a fear. How do you feel, or what discussions are you having in your courses about AI in the creative space? Is it a threat? Is it a tool? Is it both? Yes, sir.
From what my professor speaks about, he has a very different take than most people. He says, like, it is the future, it is here, it's now. So we might as well learn how to use it in the correct way, or, you know, if we're going to use it, you know, use it for a good purpose. And so he does allow us to use it, but he doesn't want us to just copy and paste it or use it. He wants us to use it in like a safe way.
You have an awesome professor.
Yeah.
That's great. Y'all have the same professor?
Yeah.
Okay, that's awesome. Good. Well, thank you for your feedback. That's a very balanced way to approach it, especially when you're still in school. Anybody else? Have you had conversation or discussion within your classroom, or is there just this nagging question or fear that you've had about how AI may impact your ability to get employed?
I feel like my teacher encourages it a lot. I know it's not cheating, but in my heart it feels like it's cheating, so I don't want to use it.
Yeah.
But I know it would save me a lot of time.
Yeah.
Do you have an opinion on that?
Heck yeah. I got you. Anybody else before I jump in? Yes.
I have the same professor. I did embrace it.
Okay.
And I also learned how to do the proper citations for it.
Okay. Thank you all for your honesty and vulnerability. So here's a couple things. One, and I'll speak to your question. Thank you for asking. I use AI every single day. So I am a tech geek. I have 2 businesses, right? The HR, and then I have a marketing agency. Well, the marketing agency came about because I've been doing websites and setting up systems and administrative work for folks for a long time, well before AI, and I never actually monetized it. Y'all, I had a whole side hustle waiting for me. For years, I was doing those things for free. So once I started that business and I got into AI, I said, wait a minute, can I save time by using this to write a letter for me? Or maybe I won't be so snarky in my email responses. I'll have a go-between. Can I use it to put together a presentation? Can I use it to touch up an image? Can I use it to tell my story as a thought partner to help me get the thoughts structured? Yes. So for me, AI is all about reducing administrative time. It saved me time. I wouldn't be able to do everything I'm doing without AI, okay? 2 businesses, hosting and co-producing a documentary, having a radio show, plus my work with Governor Shapiro on one of his advisory councils. I use AI to help me get to my goals. One of the things I've learned, for me, the boundary is AI will never take over my thought process and my creativity. So I go to AI after it's gotten here. If I need help or if I need research and data, somebody mentioned sources and citing, absolutely I'm going there. But I still will challenge myself to think things through before I go there, okay? Some people use AI as a replacement search engine. I will say AI is an amazing tool, but it's evolving. There are a lot of different ways you can use and implement AI, but it really never should take over who you are, right? That for me is my boundary. So if you can keep that, keep it. And if there's a gray area, do it anyway just once, child. And then see how you feel, see what the results are. But you'll know on the inside when you say, okay, I'm not outsourcing my brain to this technology. Plus, AI isn't always right. Those results aren't always accurate, and it often can make mistakes. I'll tell on myself. You ready? So I was doing a website. There was a lot of malware. I said, oh, I can fix this myself with the help of AI. It led me all the way down to deleting the entire website database. Your girl had to start from scratch. Yeah, 60% of creatives use AI. 75% find it useful. Duh, right? 77% AI will increase the value of human-made art. Now I know we have some art majors there. For me, I'm a little biased. I prefer human-designed art. I'm not a fan of AI art at all. And I don't think I ever will be. There's something so beautiful of being able to get something in your mind, your spirit, and actually having the skill set to have it manifest. But some folks are comfortable with using AI for art, but we can usually tell the difference, right? It doesn't mean that the art industry is going to change. People will still spend tons of money, especially on unique designs, but AI is inclusive of the trade in the industry. That being said, here we are, y'all are in the same generation, and you've got AI that is starting to take over the world. Now, sir, I want to speak to your point. I hate it. I despise it when I see people I know, get AI or you'll get lost. AI is taking over. You may be in the black hole not knowing AI forever. Whatever. First of all, there's a billion new AI things coming out every day. I don't like the fear factor, and here's why. Most people still aren't actively using AI outside of make me not sound snarky in an email. So statistically speaking, if you choose one platform or one tool within AI to master, you can still make millions of dollars right now. I'm not a fan of fear factors. Why? Because fear doesn't have data in it. It just makes you think like you gotta get caught up and you're always behind. No, we don't do that. What you want to do is really be able to identify how AI can help you to master something so you can get it out and sell it, provide a service. And I promise you there's plenty of learning and there's plenty of opportunities still left. So take a deep breath, you're not behind. A lot of people say that because they're trying to sell their services or trying to get you to sign up for the limited knowledge they have of an AI product or service. I got caught in that rabbit hole myself. I don't want y'all to worry or think you're so far behind. AI is still relatively new to the masses, and there's still folks that don't even know or haven't started it, but could hire you to help facilitate something for them. So AI amplifies you, it doesn't replace you. Literally just what we talked about. AI is new, but transformations in technology is not new. So I'm gonna date myself, and it's fine, everything's fine. Okay, I grew up where we didn't have cell phones, then we had cell phones, then we had Blackberries, and then we had iPhones. I'm just keeping it real. Before the MacBook, there was the big Macs, and they were heavy, and before the internet, I grew up without internet, okay? Then we had AOL, and then, things have evolved. Technologically, it's gonna continue to change and transform. The biggest difference is access to it. Everyone now has access to it, whereas before not everyone did. That's your benefit. Knowing and understanding how to make the most of who you are, what you want to serve, who you want to serve, and how you want to serve it. AI can be a tool to help you to be able to do that. That's really the biggest difference. So it should never replace you, but you may have to learn how to master it and communicate it well to provide a service to those who can't. That's probably the biggest differential. I'm gonna say this too. Hundreds of thousands of people have been laid off recently due to AI and these larger corporations. They've just, hundreds of thousands. Well, that's for two reasons. One, corporations are always gonna look to cut the fat, and they're always gonna look for a reason or an excuse. I need you to understand that's just the way the big businesses work. But two, AI may have replaced roles, but in this phase, AI is reducing efficiencies, and efficiencies is the people. For you, on the other hand, you have a chance to master something and go out and communicate it and offer it as a service. So this gives you control over a narrative in a way where if you work for a big organization, maybe cut, it's not the same thing. So I really encourage you to look at something that you can master, learn it, own it, and then get it out there. So I don't know how we're doing on time. I have a free download for you guys. So Joyventory is the framework that I had to come up with to be able to work with people on how to communicate their worth and value. And it really does start here. So we're not gonna go through this now, but the overview of what I'm gonna send to you is to help you really understand how to start to tell your story in a quantitative method. So what do you do where time disappears? What do people always come to you for? And what would you do even if no one paid you? I'm gonna ask a few of you this last question. Remember I told you my second business is I was doing it for free? Because I love it. I do. I love it. I love helping launch businesses. It makes me so happy. And I would continue to do it for free if not for an actual business now. But can y'all think of number 3? What would you do even if no one paid you? Now, you may not be getting paid for it now, but it doesn't mean you can't be hired for it. So what would you do?
I like to draw a lot. I think drawing is something I could answer for like all 3 of these questions.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's amazing. All right, so we have drawing, meaning illustrations or painting.
Kind of all of it. I usually do illustrations though.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, good. Do you do logos?
yes.
Okay, get my business card. Okay, so what would you do even if no one paid you?
I would paint.
You would paint.
A few things I wanted, because recently I like making bouquets for my friends, and I kind of like that gesture.
Say that again.
Making bouquets for my friends.
Ooh, bouquets. Like, and I'm asking you to define, because bouquets now is more than just flowers. By the way, I gotta get my sister flowers for her birthday. I'm glad you mentioned that, because I forgot. Anyway, side note. Flower bouquets?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so this is actually nothing art related, but it's like a job I really enjoyed back in like 2024. I was like a ride operator at an amusement park, and I think I liked that job so much I actually said that I would be willing to do it even if I wasn't paid.
What do you like about it?
Basically, it's like a part of that job that I really liked about it was that you actually get to like basically like engage with like the people riding the rides.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was like really fun.
Yeah. Keep that, remember that. Because that is an indicator of what will bring you joy when you get a job or start a business. You like interacting with humans, right? So a fully remote role where all you're doing is hunched over on a computer may not be your gig. It's just that simple. So hang on to that. Okay, what would you do even if no one paid you? I'm gonna go in the back.
I'll just start with a travel blog or a food blog.
Okay, do you do it now?
I mean, I do a blog for work, but
Okay,
not like a personal one.
do you travel often?
I try.
Okay.
When I can.
Do you go out to eat food and or cook food often?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, good. So we're defining what your connection points are to what you would do if no one paid you. Okay.
Same thing, I would just draw
Illustrate or paint or both?
both, all of it.
Okay. How about you?
Me?
Yeah.
I don't want to seem like I'm copying everybody, but probably art. I've been trying to learn more about digital illustration, so I think I relate to that.
Good. Keep that up, because that's a skill set. I promise you, when folks are like, we don't want any more AI, you could be like, okay, give me all your money. So it's good. You're using tools to design, but you're not outsourcing it to artificial intelligence. It's good. How about you?
I would probably screenwrite.
Ooh.
I haven't written anything with WoW yet, I would say, but it's like something about, conceptualizing something in your mind and then getting it on paper and then, changing it however much you want. Like there's something like satisfying about that.
Are you a part of the Eastern Pennsylvania Filmmakers Group or Association?
No, I'm not part of that.
Okay, my friend is the president of the board. If you remind me, get my business card and then follow up.
For sure.
There's a great community here for that. How about you?
I really I paint like a lot.
Yeah.
That's my thing, and I do get paid for it. But like, not a lot. But another thing I thought about was either acting or voice acting.
Okay.
I would love to do that, and I don't care if I get paid for it. Just having myself out there for acting is fun.
Okay, acting for what? Movies, commercials?
Yeah, TV shows, movies, whatever.
Okay.
Probably not commercials, more like TV movies.
Okay. All right, good. How about you?
The community-based work, like I work for my downtown right now, and I love it, and I always tell them, like, I'd do it for free if I could be on the board.
That's good. Which downtown?
Nazareth.
Okay, and what do you love about it?
I just love, I mean, I grew up in Nazareth, and I love being out in the community, and like, the community hasn't really changed much, because it can't grow, because our borough is so small.
Yeah.
So it's not, it hasn't had development like Easton or Bethlehem has had in their downtowns, and I just love that, like when I walk down the street, I see the same people, everyone comes to the farmer's market every weekend, everyone knows everyone, and it's very like art-based, and everyone's always helping each other, and I don't know, I love the interaction with people, I guess.
That's good. And so you'll remember that too as we move on, right? That's a joy factor that you have every right to keep and look for as you're considering opportunities. How about you?
I think I'd like want to like design and program like websites or apps or like software, like so instead of like having to do it or have to like fulfill specific requirements for a class, I'll just do all my own throughout things that I want to do.
Okay. Have you gotten into vibe coding yet?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, good. Keep it up. There's always going to be a need. No matter, I mean, most of the sales for my second business, no matter how hard I tried, has always had a web design component to it. So I promise you, there's a need. And get my business card, because if you're good enough, there will be business for you. Okay? How about you, sir?
There's several different things I've done, still do, that it depends. Going out and mixing, drawing, writing, photography.
Okay.
So there's a few things in this that I enjoy doing. It would be nice to get paid for what I do.
Okay. And how about y'all? You can pick whoever goes first.
I'll go first.
All right.
Just design work, especially for my family. A lot of my family reached out to me to do stuff for them, and I like doing it for free.
Yeah.
It opens up another door to do different work. So I enjoy it.
What kind of design work?
I've had my cousin reach out for me to make logos.
Yeah.
I made book covers for my stepmom, shirts for my dad.
You do book covers?
Just for her.
This is amazing. And did you say stuff for clothing? You design clothing?
Yeah.
Too? Okay. How about you?
Probably go the same route, like design work, photography, video work, especially like 400 people around me. I think there's something really nice to like connect and collaborate on that stuff.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be transactional.
Yeah, I love that. No, it doesn't have to be transactional, and it's creativity should never only be in transactional environments. That can drain the creativity out. We want that interaction, that connection. Did I miss anyone? Okay. All right, good. What kind of video work?
Anything. It's all the same, technically, you know.
Okay. Y'all know I'm a recruiter, so I'm an interviewer. So I've already heard of a few people who are actively doing things that are defined as hireable. That's great. Hats off to you for that. We're done. This is nothing. Does anyone have LinkedIn? All right. Scan her up. Scan her up. I hope it works. Look at me being so bold. I hope it works. So LinkedIn is where I share free, no cost tips, tips, as well as free downloads. This is the space, okay? You go to my website, you're gonna have to hire your girl. So this is the space where y'all can just stay up to date. I do a lot of work in this community as well. I know some of you mentioned your love for community and being around folks. I love to share what's going on, so feel free to send out your requests. Angela's going to be sending you the free download. We'll make sure you have that. This is just a living document that you can start to work on really defining your narrative. So before we close out, are there any questions lingering in your mind that you want to throw up now? Or throw out, not throw up, throw out. Okay, well, y'all know how to reach me. I'm impressed that so many of you have LinkedIn. I'm really impressed with that. Stay tuned. There will definitely be more to come. And if you were looking for an internship or looking for a job, When you do reach out, just make sure you remind me of who you are and indicate what it is you're looking for. I do have some clients who are going to be needing some interns soon. Okay? All right, well, thank you so much.